it got to the day before, basically asking a lot of girls that I knew that lived out there, but they was either working, because you forget people do actually work there, it's like middle of the week, or they'd seen my last music video of what a twerking, they were like, I'm not doing that. I was like, it's not going to be like that, but deep down I kind of thought, I hope it's a little bit like that. So they just was kind of, they didn't really want to jump on. So honestly, I get on my phone and I'm like, I've only got one option here, so I just typed in Dubai escorts, right? And I'm on the escorts site,
now we're talking.
And it's a big old catalogue, bro, and it's got like a list of all these. Don't get me wrong, they all looked like Kim K's, like they were bad boys. Some of these girls,
any English birds on that on there? Is it all like?
Nah, it was like sort of Russian and you know, like a lot of sort of like Arab women, you know, all sorts, bro, all sorts. But they're all like rockets, but crazy prices, man. Do you know what I mean? And I was thinking,
how much we're talking?
So you're talking for a call out, the cheapest I found on this site anyway, what, £400 for an hour, cheapest, like an hour, bear in mind, like, you know, for a call out, or you'd have to go to them, I think it'd be like 300 quid, but some of them up to £1,000, some of them more.
I'm used to that like £50 mark.
Go to Allback, bro, £10.
Cameraman will be like, right, we're fucking wrapping this up in 30 minutes.
Got women in the front and the back, 2 to my side and 1 on my lap. They be posing for the gram and the snap, and it crazy what I'll do for a man to come back.
Yo, whoa, bro, go easy. Since young we've been dumb, fun and greedy. We in the bay saying Salam Habibi. Got me on repeat at a party on the TV. I like it when she speak freaky. One even got my name stained on her Fifi. Now I'm breezing, I'll do anything to please me. VIP suite, she said you know how to treat me. Word on the road, she a fan.
How did you two connect?
Well, so I give you a follow, didn't I?
Yeah,
I followed you.
Did you see that we had Carla on?
Yeah, Carla. I don't know Carla well enough, but I seen that you had her on, give you a follow. Seen you was local as well, do you know what I mean? And then luckily you messaged me anyway. I was gonna message you myself, bro. So it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I saw you on that. Did you say what's it called?
Graph Kings. Yeah.
I know Merc.
Oh, you know Merc,
yeah? I met Merc in Ibiza a couple of times.
Hey, mate, I swear everyone's met Merc in Ibiza. That's how I met him as well, bro. That's how I met him.
Yeah, he's a boyo.
He is, man, yeah.
So, first of all, mate, thanks for taking the time out of your fucking Andrew Tate lifestyle.
My pleasure, boys.
Bro, one thing I need to know is how the fuck are you affording that? Because to me, it looks a bit fucking sketchy to me.
Oh, it's sketchy. We'll chat off camera.
Let's go. Yeah, no, so... first of all, mate, how the fuck did you get here? Where did it all start?
How long we got? Just to try and break it all down, basically, growing up, I had a good upbringing by both my parents, but got drawn into the wrong crowd from a young age. Got to 15 and I was selling weed, like, you know, making quite a lot of money from it as well. I had people working for me and stuff, selling weed, made quite a bit of money, hanging around with the wrong crowd in my area. So I went to a pretty good school, but the area I was from, even though York's a nice place, like for York, it was probably one of the few areas where there's a lot of naughty kids and naughty things going on. I was in that crowd, so when I'd finished school, I'd come home and I was chilling with them kids till late. I didn't have my dad around anymore, and he was kind of the person I was scared of. So anytime my mum would try to tell me off or say anything, I didn't really listen. Do you know what I'm saying? I kind of pushed it off. So I was there selling weed, naughty at school, ended up getting kicked out. Shortly after that, my best mate went to jail. Everything started going down the pan, do you know what I mean? Dad went around, kicked out of school, you know, my best mate's gone to jail. And I was at a point where I was like selling weed, making all this money, thinking, a lot of money at the time, thinking like, you know, I don't need a job, nothing else. But a lot of bad things were going on in my life. So it was like, my way of venting it was writing music, songwriting, you know, that's how I expressed myself. And even though I was pissing about at school a lot, one thing that I did was, you know, we had like homework in an English lesson just before I got chucked out, and we had to write a poem. And it was like a war poem or something like that. And I hated homework and all this, but I did this poem, didn't think much of it. And my teacher's like gone, Matt, I need you to read this to the class. Like, it rhymes, but it makes sense. Like, everything you're saying is actually like, it's all like, you know, linked together. So I read it to the class, and people are like, that's really good, that. For a kid that's obviously naughty and pissed about, didn't do his homework and turn up to school half the time, everyone was shocked. So I kind of like sped up the poems and realised that I could make it into a rap and put a beat behind it. And I used to do it on the playground. I used to rap about the teachers, like the teachers I didn't like. And everyone would crowd around. Everyone's like, yeah, you're sick, you know. So, you know, the reason I mention that is because when obviously school was over, I worked in school, and didn't get much of my GCSEs, the one thing that I enjoyed doing was music. I didn't have a drive to get a normal job, anything else. I was like happy just making my money on the side doing that. But I was writing music and really inspired by that. So what happened is I got to obviously 16 and, it's like, what do I do now? Obviously I couldn't go to sixth form. So my only option was either going to college or going into some sort of like, like apprenticeship or like
some
electrician.
trade or something like that.
And I tell you what, I'm just not good with my hands. Do you know what I mean? I'm not someone who can do a job like that, electrician, even though that's what my mum wanted me to do. So I was like, do you know what? The one thing I enjoy doing is music. I'm going to go to college, get on a BTEC course, because I was able to do that without having the best of GCSEs and just pursue that. And at least I'm doing something productive that I like doing. So I done like an audition. They had me rap. I could play a bit of like keyboard. I could produce as well. So I learned that from school, and I could sing a bit as well. So then it was enough to get me on that course. And that's when it all changed, because once I got to college, I was around, like, you can imagine a music course at York College. It was like, people with long hair and, goths and stuff like that, but really lovely people I would never have associated with back in my own area or anything. But there were sound people, and, it really kind of got me away from that crowd. I started getting, I was getting in a bit of trouble outside of all that with the police, and, I'd been set up and all these kind of things happened that I was like, it's not even worth it no more, I need to get away from that life. And I did. And what really saved me was kind of college and then getting into partying and going out, because once I got to college, I started like chilling with all the popular lads and the good looking lads and stuff, and they was going out a lot and going to these parties, and I preferred that to sitting in the garage smoking weed. You know what I mean? I was like going out chatting to girls. I was wanted to look better and, take care of my appearance, because obviously I wanted to look good when I go out, and that really saved me. And I realized that I loved partying so much that I wanted to kind of do something, that involves that could make me money. So when I finished college, I decided to go to uni. I realised I needed to get out of York and just get out of my hometown. Otherwise, I was just going to be stuck in that same cycle, that same area, everything else. So I moved to Liverpool. It was somewhere that I'd never really been, other than for an open day, completely new. But I knew it was a good night out. I knew it had loads of mint birds, and that was all I wanted. You know what I'm saying?
That was the decision made.
Yeah. It was just far enough from home to be like away from home, somewhere new, but still like had everything I kind of wanted from the place. So that was it. Once I got to uni, I was just I was doing business marketing because I knew that I liked selling.
I've got to ask you a question here to slow it down a little bit. So you've made the decision. Go to Liverpool, get out of the way, and set the standard there. I've been to university as well. Talk me through that freshers week. So you get. I'm surmising there. Did you stay in dorms? Were you?
I was in student halls.
Right, so in student halls. There's got to be some stories there, mate. I always remember my first sort of week there with halls and trying to get acclimatized to it, all around these new people, all these birds everywhere. You've got a little bit of your own space.
Do you know what, with the stories, like, it weren't, there was probably nothing that was amazing for a pod. It was just a very messy week. Do you know what I mean? It was 2 weeks, the Liverpool one as well, so that every single night. And like you just said there, obviously when you're new to uni, everyone's in the same boat. No one knows each other, so within a week or two, everyone's your best mate, and you've got hundreds of pals, and I just absolutely loved it. But throughout uni, I ended up actually doing 5 years at uni, so I did a master's as well. Nice. So I actually, I'd got into uni through clearing from college, and I'd ended up actually going to do the master's and everything else. So it shocks a lot of people, do you know what I mean? Because to go from someone who did get all the GCSEs to then go to university, get a master's degree, start a business is rare. But I was going out a hell of a lot of uni throughout the whole time. So, people usually settle down when they get to like third year, especially masters. I was just going out just as much, you know what I'm saying? But it got to the point where I kind of thought, I'm putting a lot of money into someone else's pocket here. So, I was working for a few of the event companies. I was doing guest list here and there. I was doing all right. I was getting into the events for free. But I was still not capitalizing on this massive network of people that I had. Like, when I was there, I was organizing like parties at my gaff and stuff, and loads of people turn up, and I'd always have the nice girls there and always like know everyone when I walked into the clubs. I was thinking like, I can do something with this, with this network of people, rather than just going out, getting pissed, spending all my money and having nothing to show for it. So I was sat one day, this was like, I think my third year now. So I was maybe fourth year. Sat down in Nando's with one of my pals. We'd been at some rave the night before, and we talked about how good it was, and we were like, he just said to me, he goes, why don't me and you start an event company? Let's start throwing our own parties. You know all these people. He goes, I'll be the brains behind it. I'll do all the, like, contacting the venues, the DJs. You just push it, market it.
You promote it.
Yeah, promote it. You're the face of the night. Let's do it. So we started Orbit Liverpool, and that was... you may have seen it like a few years ago. We did like a win a holiday to Ibiza competition. It got like thousands and thousands of shares, but that did all right. And, you know, we were doing that for about a year and a half. And considering it was a new event, we made some decent money some nights. Do you know what I mean?
Do you end up actually giving the holiday away? Because I've all these fucking competitions, mate. I never believe in them, mate, so I never share them. Because you never see. Well, sometimes you're doing it. You know, like when they say you can win a car for fucking buying a £5 ticket and shit. Like, you see them winners, but one of my mates is a tattooist, and he put a competition. He's like, share this, I'll give you £1,000 and a free tattoo. I messaged him, I said, mate, fuck the £1,000, give me a free tattoo and I'll share it for you. And he was like, mate, nobody's winning that fucking money, it's just clickbait. And I'm like, you cheeky bastard.
Yeah, no, we genuinely did it, bro. Yeah, like I actually did the live draw in Ibiza. Like, name out a hat. Stupidly, I had to write every single person's name, so like Instagram handles, on a piece of paper. I didn't think to just use an app on my phone or something like that. Like,
you got them wheel things, aren't you?
Yeah, that's what like 2 months in Ibiza does to you. Yeah? So I literally, me and my pals were sat there all day writing these names. Genuinely went through and wrote all the names, and I did a live stream on the page and picked a name out of a hat, and this girl and a friend ended up winning it and flying them out. But yeah, the point is that I started my own event company. I was doing that for a while. And in between all of this, what I haven't mentioned is that I was doing seasons abroad every summer. So when I'd finish my kind of year at uni, I'd go do a season, and I'd come back and I'd go do another season. And that started off in Greece, 2 years. Again, working the party scene, PRing. I just enjoyed going out. Malia, yeah.
Fuck, I went to Mali when I was 18, mate. We were rough as fuck.
Yeah. Very messy. But at the time, some of the best times of your life. Like when you're walking down that strip, 18, 19 years old, it's like Vegas now to me, you know, because you'd first time away from your parents and that, all these birds, and, you know, especially when you're working, you're getting paid to party in a way, even if it is peanuts. At the time, it's enough to get by on. So I was doing all that, and kind of the reason why the event company ended was because of the fact that I'd chosen to go back to Ibiza. I'd got a job at Ocean Beach, you know, making good money, and I kind of like couldn't juggle an event company back home in Liverpool as well as a season of Ibiza, working a full-time job 6 days a week, as well as having a social life, as well as modelling, as well as doing all these other hustles I was doing. It just wasn't doable. I wanted to enjoy my time, not, you know, feel overrun. But that's how it started, bro, with the whole partying thing. You know, it started from me just being a weed smoker that was kicked out of school, you know, with pretty much no hope in life, to someone that just decided to just go and chase what I like doing, which is the music, and end up slipping into the party scene and really enjoying it and getting involved, man.
How old are you now?
I'm 27.
27.
Don't look it.
And you look young, I think.
Yeah, I'd say you probably look between 25 and 28, maybe.
Well, I remember last summer in Ibiza, someone guessed, I was chatting to a girl, and she goes, how old are you? I said, how old do you think? She went, 19. But she said it seriously. I thought, 19? Like, everyone wants to look a couple of years younger. You're taking a piss, 19, bro. Come on.
Bro, how the fuck are you still staying fresh after fucking 8 years of solid partying constantly?
Do you know what, man? Like, a lot of people say this to me, like, because obviously I see myself every day, so I don't look at myself as like, oh, I look healthier than you or whatever else. You know, but I mentioned this other day on a pod. It's like, I realize that the industry I'm in is, you know, no matter how you look at it, it isn't good for your health, yeah? Like, whether you take drugs, you don't take drugs, whether you drink loads or drink a bit, the late nights, everything else, it catches up on you, man. Do you know what I mean? So I know that realistically, like, me going to Ibiza and stuff like that, it's very important for me to make money and build my network. I have to kind of do that. However, I do it in the healthiest way possible. So by that, I mean, I still stick to a gym routine. I go to the gym 5 days a week, regardless, bro, of how heavy my night was. I eat clean whenever I can control that. So, like, if have my own apartment and I can cook in that apartment, I will make my meals and I will eat clean. I don't really eat out much, you know. Same way, you know, afters and stuff like that. Like, I'll go to an afters if it is worth it, you know, if like Paws is playing at a villa party. Otherwise, I'll probably call it a night.
I need to learn this skill set.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, not always. I've had my fair share of rollovers and times I regret, you know, but I'm at a point where, like, you know, I'm good at saying no. I'm very disciplined, and you will never ever see me out my head. Like, you know, you I might feel it, but you will never see me escape because I'm very good at kind of controlling, you know, getting to a certain level. And I don't enjoy getting, you know, absolutely mashed up. So the answer to it is, you know, keeping every other area of your life in check. You know, drinking plenty of water, eating fruit. It sounds mad and cliche, but real
get the
talk,
basics right.
That's my secret. That's what I've done, you know. Sticking a routine, staying mentally tough and disciplined, and you can do this for a while, you know, and then not end up in a grave.
You said you worked at Ocean Beach, bro. I did a season in Ibiza in 2017 as well. It was fucking rough.
Jeez, yeah, just before me, yeah.
What's it like working in Ocean? Must be mate. All them birds every single day. I'll be sneaking off the toilet every 5 minutes, mate.
Yeah, do you know what, man? It's great for obviously meeting birds, meeting kind of big influential people, and obviously it's a vibe. You are working in the sun. You're in probably one of the best beach clubs in the world. Do you know what I mean? You get a lot of perks with that. So to be honest, when it comes to meeting birds, I actually did better with the birds when I wasn't working at Ocean than when I was working there. Because the problem is, like you might meet a girl while you're working, but she then leaves and goes and does something else after, or like she's met a guy in there, or she gets too drunk. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas like, you know, you're working, bro. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, you can't really party with them. You get the number quickly at the start of the day.
She's not just going to stand there
again.
and chat to you all night.
Exactly, yeah.
I've seen a lot of shit with Ocean Beach with security. Have you seen that recently?
Yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah, but I saw that, and I'm going to chime in a little bit.
I'll let you chime in, and I'll probably add on top of that.
Do you think he looked that bad?
No, he didn't look bad whatsoever.
They shared this guy who had someone been pushed in a pool. I might get the story slightly wrong. And then they said he's been dragged off. But when I saw his face, it didn't look like he'd been filled in by 5 or 6 bouncers, as they were saying. It just like he'd just been probably tussled out.
But the thing is, they choke you out and shit, so you're not going to be able to see it. He had blood coming out of his ears and that, so it probably was bad. I remember I had a bit of a run-in because when I first did the season, first time I went in Ocean Beach, there were no drugs or anything involved. And do you know Kyle Beaumont?
Yeah, I know of him. Yeah,
so he was working at Lineker's, so we had like a 50% thingy card. So me and a few boys, because we're doing the season, were like being cheapskates. So I said to my mate Mikey Speakman, you might have met him actually. You look a bit like him.
Yeah.
So I was like, mate, I'll get the round. You get the card off Kyle, and we'll just keep doing that. We'll just keep buying him a drink every time. So of course we're exchanging money, fucking 50% card, drink, back to money. The security that stand up top are obviously watching us and thought something dodgy were going on. So long story short, anyway, they must have had a Spanish worker come up to me like, oh, have you got anything? And I was like, no. And he was like, oh, it's hard to get it in here. And I was like,
oh, like as an undercover kind of thing. Yeah.
He said, I come out of the toilet, all security was staring at me. Went back again, came back, and then next minute, these security guys just come and grabbed all 3 of us, took us back, stripped us down naked. Not naked, but got us to pull his pants down and cover himself up, and then found nothing. And we were like, can we go back in? They were like, no, you're fucking bad. Snipped his bands off and we didn't get back in then for full season. So if they were a bit nice at security, it'd be a fucking perfect place, that.
Yeah, well, it's one of them, innit? Like, obviously, you do hear the stories and you see them, and there's no denying that's happened. But I just feel like, it's going to sound cliche, but you do get that everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, any venue in Ibiza has got, like, you know, one of my very good pals who gave me the job in Ocean Beach is now head of security there, and he's very professional, do you know what I'm saying? I've seen how he's, you know, I obviously did 2 seasons working for him, and like one on the West End and one there, and West End full of bellends, do you know what I mean? I've seen how he deals with people, and he'll never hit someone, he'll never give too much force. He's a big fella, you know. But having said that, there's obviously other people that will let the side down, and you know, there's certain things you see that obviously are out of order, and there's no
I suppose when it's that busy, it's that busy there, and they're trying to control the scene, so the vibe's good for everybody. They almost have to just diffuse it if they feel it's there. And sometimes an easy way is just to get them out and just go about your day in it. It's just it's a necessary evil almost in it that they've got to sort of control it. You mentioned something there that you were around some inspirational people and mentors. Does anyone stand out who you looked up to in Ibiza, who you were learning from? You could really like spot from him, mentorship? Anyone sort of teach you the ropes there?
Not so much that. So when I'm saying inspirational, I mean more like probably a different spin on it. So I'm more saying that I'm seeing these guys coming in with a lot of money that do well for themselves, spending this kind of money. Right. I'm like looking at their lifestyle and I'm thinking that is inspirational to me. Like, you know, it kind of pushes me to think, right, when I get back from this season, what am I going to do that's going to get me like him one day? You know what I mean?
Did you go quiz these people, like what they did for a living, or you're more just like...
Not really, but the thing with me, like I hate being that person that's, you know, like if I see a celeb or I see someone, whatever, be that person that comes over and say, oh, you so-and-so, and like, I'm very like, I'll look like I'm not even asked. I treat everyone the same, everyone normal person to me. But obviously deep down, I am watching and I'm thinking, you know, and I'm kind of watching how they move and everything else, thinking, I wonder what they're like, you know, and stuff. So very rarely, but obviously there's been a lot of times because of the place I've been since then. Like obviously Miami, I was living there for a few months. Obviously I've been to Dubai this year. So there's been a lot of occasions where I've almost accidentally ended up speaking to someone that's ended up being a multi-millionaire, very successful. But they're just normal blokes, you know what I'm saying? And it's better like that when it happens naturally, and rather than when, you know, you're seeing someone in Ocean Beach and they've got security around them and all these girls are trying to get on the table, then you're going over trying to have a genuine conversation. It's hard work. It's never going to be like, you're never going to get much out of that, you know?
What was Miami like, as I say?
Miami's crazy, bro. Yeah, Miami is exactly how you picture it, bro. If you ever play GTA Vice City, it's exactly like that, man. You know, the Americans so different to England. It's a beautiful place. The skyline, the beaches are unreal. You know, it is mint, man. It is really good.
How did you get that? How did you get that little link up?
Through Ibiza, bro. So some guys that basically used to work out there, they used to run events in Ibiza. They went out to Miami and they started going there they'd go there, go to Miami, then they'd go to Ibiza, because obviously the Miami season, even though it is year-round hot, it's busy year-round, it's a lot busier spring break time. So February till May is like your peak months to make money. So they were going out there, they set up a few, like Let's Party Tonight Miami, I think it's called, and they basically have like a package, you know, take all these girls out on a bus and then they take them to all the different pool parties and clubs. So they were doing that for years. They brought some of my boys on board. My boys were trying to get me on board, but it was just one of them at the time. You know, a couple of years back, I think, that was it. We'd gone into lockdown, and then last year I had a missus. I was working full-time job. It just weren't the right time to go. But yeah, I mean, it fit with everything I was kind of doing. And because I'd left my job back end of last year, it made sense for me to go see the world, go experience things. I had obviously other incomes online that I could work off my phone. I knew that I could kind of carry them on and go to Miami and work in Miami as well. And that's probably the side that people don't see. You know, people look on my Instagram and they see me in all these places, they see me partying, they see me on these crazy tables, crazy restaurants. But they don't understand I'm getting paid a lot. I'm getting paid a lot of the time to be at these places. I'm not paying, you know, $2K. I'm not rich. I ain't got like $2K just splash on the table 6 nights a week, bro. You know, so yeah, I just looked at it as a way to live that Miami high life, but without having to actually put the money down. You know,
100%.
Does the intrigue come from there? You mentioned then you had a full-time job. You left that alone, and you've gone on your own with these online endeavors or whatever it might be. Have you always enjoyed that element we speak about, moving from where we live here? There's not a ton of opportunity where we live.
Yeah.
We've got businesses. He's got an online business.
Where you used to from then? You Leeds, yeah?
These boys here. So
nice.
I'm a town close by here, just local lads. Has it always been, you've always liked that idea of being able to just move around? Were a fixed income never a thing for you there? You said you had a full-time stable income. Were it hard to walk away from that?
It was hard to walk away from it, yeah. I mean, it's kind of been one of them where, you know, when I did the Masters at uni, the real reason I did that was because the extra 2 years was because I was kind of scared of going into the real world and having to settle down for a career, because that's what the norm tells you to do. They tell you, you know, go get a job, settle down, you know, eventually find a missus, get a house, have kids. And I kind of just went against all that. And I knew that I didn't want to do that. I knew that it just weren't for me. So I kind of was delaying it and thinking, right, I'll at least get myself a bit better qualified. If I do end up taking that route, I've got now the Masters, I've got a bit more time and knowledge under my belt. But I just knew it weren't for me. And, you know, for years, I was obviously doing the seasons. I was trying loads of different hustles. As I say, I work in events, I do modeling, you know, buying and selling clothes. I was doing like loads of different things, and I was always all right for money. So I wasn't desperate or skint, you know. But it got to the point where I decided to move to Manchester. I basically told myself I was done with the seasons. I'd already done 5 seasons at this point. I'd made a good bit of money in Ibiza, so I had like some money there to kind of be comfortable. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get a job now and kind of settle down. I'd obviously started seeing someone as well, so I needed like a bit of normal routine. And if I'm honest with you, bro, like I actually enjoyed my year in Manchester working the job, like, you know, being in an office and everything. it was good for a short amount of time.
Start getting the itch then.
Yeah, it was good for a short amount of time, and I liked the stability of having a salary there. And on top of that, obviously, I still had my other hustle, so it was good. But I just, I realized like I kind of sat down and I thought, you know what, like I'm going into work, I'm going into this office, and I'm working till whatever time, and then I'm coming home, and then I'm like ringing clients, doing this and that, and then having a meeting about something else. And then while I'm at work, I'm like making money off my phone from my concierge stuff in Ibiza. And I was making more money from all those things than my job. And like my job was, it was a great place to work, but there's targets, there's pressure, everything else. And I'm thinking like, I've got no pressure with all the other things I'm doing. I'm my own boss with all of them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the PT stuff is all around my time. It's like, I'm my own boss of that. So I just thought, why am I going to be in this office where realistically I'm probably not going to get promoted anytime soon?
You don't see any advancement.
Yeah, there was obviously a chance to do that, but it was time, and I was thinking in that 1-2 years that it's going to take me to progress, I could be doing so much. And I look at now like what I've done in 5 months, bro. Like, released 2 singles. I've done my first live show, booked for another one. I've been to 6 countries this year. Lived in Miami for 2 months. I've got more money in the bank now than I had when I left that job in December. It's like, that's in 5 months, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just always knew that I wasn't meant for a 9 to 5. And even though my friends would tell me, people always said to me, they were like, look, that ain't you. They were so shocked when I said that I was even doing an office job. Nothing against anyone that does do that, because some people, that is the best thing for them. But for me, I just knew that I had something else to give, and being my own boss and having my own business and doing everything online is perfect for someone like me who just loves to go new places and try new things.
How much energy do you put into building your brand on social media? You've a lot of focus on that.
No, not enough, man, honestly. Nowhere near enough, bro. Like, especially now that I'm only recently, in the last couple of years, actually now focusing on music, particularly this year, I don't put anything like as much focus as I should do. It probably looks like I do, because when you look on my page, you see all the posts, you can see the place I've been. But like, I don't even use TikTok, bro. Like I'm a rapper that's trying to make it in music. I don't even use TikTok. Like that's huge. I don't really use Snapchat. That's another huge one. I don't even use like sponsored ads and stuff. So it's like I don't put anything like enough focus into it. But I think that's just because my Instagram I've always kind of looked as more like my diary of like,
nice to look back on.
Yeah, not my diary, but like my memory book almost. Rather than a brand. But I do need to now realize that obviously I'm launching a coaching business in a few weeks. I've got a lot of music, big and better things coming up with my music. I need to really now kind of look at how I'm going to grow that.
How's that coaching business going to look? Is it on an app? Is it on a website?
Website, potentially an app eventually. But it's because at the minute now, so I have clients that I do one-to-one fitness coaching with, nutrition, and that's all just through WhatsApp, and that's all people have approached me from seeing my lifestyle and seeing me party and thinking, how the hell is he living in Ibiza for 5 months and he's getting in better shape than he was before?
Yeah.
And he's going to the gym and stuff. People just need that motivation and that almost cheat code of how you can kind of do both and you can balance your diet and everything around it. However, I now am in a position where I can grow that and take on more clients. So I never promoted it previously because I realized that I had so much going on. I was just traveling the world earlier this year. I had my music. Obviously, the year before I had a job as well. I didn't want any more clients. I didn't want my life to become stressful rather than fun. So now with the coaching, it's one of them where I am ready to grow it. I've got a lot more free time. And I'm obviously combining the fitness with life coaching, because one thing I've got a lot of, particularly this year, is people ringing me for advice, questions, everything else. They're saying like, you need to make this a service, because people value my advice. They want to live the same lifestyle I live, or they want to know how to get into that kind of thing, because a lot of people have seen me, like I mentioned this earlier in the pod, they've seen who I was 10, 11, 12 years ago, a kid that was selling weed.
Yeah, they've seen the progression.
Corners. Yeah, selling weed in street corners from, living with a mum that didn't have a penny to her name, kicked out of school with, no ambition, anything going for me. So like someone that now is living a really good lifestyle, so I knew that I could utilize this, make it into a service, help people out, make some money myself, and and do it from anywhere in the world remotely, you know.
That's the one when it's remotely like that. How did you, and then we'll dive into something different, how did you decide on a price point for that talking business? In terms of you've packaged this service, life coaching and personal coaching.
Yeah.
How much effort and time did you put into, right, I'm going to price it at this?
Yeah, so with the online training, so the fitness side of things, I kind of, if I'm honest with you, I just asked a load of people that I know, like my mates, what they're charging. And I was like, right, I'm going to charge less than them because they've got, a lot of them actually had like degrees and stuff in, you know, sports science stuff. I didn't have that. I just had my own knowledge and my own experience, which was still getting just as good results as they were getting, but I wasn't as well qualified. I didn't have my own app, a website. It was just one-to-one calls, me making the plans. But I did put a lot of time and effort into it. Like, I didn't realize that obviously now you can pretty much get the fitness plans made for you to give to clients on different websites. I was making them all from scratch, bro. Like, they tell me, you know, this is my order from Muscle Foods. I was typing, I was finding out the calories for every single meal. I was spending hours on it, man. But I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed helping people. And that's why I realized, like, if I'm willing to put that much time in and clients are happy with it and whatever else, then I can now actually save myself time because there's other ways of doing it, have more clients and charge more money. So that was with the fitness, and the life coaching was basically, again, looking at what other people charge and also how much value I believe I'm bringing that person, you know? So if someone has a 30-minute call with me, I might be able to give them some insight into certain things, but if someone books in for 3 1-hour calls with me, that could change that person's life. And I know it sounds mad like a phone call, but believe me, like, just someone changing a small thing about their life, whatever that may be, whether it's like the car that they're financing that they can't afford, whether it's like a girl that's cheated on them that they're still staying with and they're paying the bills for, anything like that could change their life, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just building a belief in someone's head that, and letting them see something that they kind of never saw before, you know?
And what would you charge people for this 3 1-hour phone calls?
So the 1-hour calls are going to be £79. Half hour is going to be £49. There's going to be a free consultation, 20 minutes. So the price for free, I haven't worked that out, but it'll be cheaper. So the idea is obviously the more calls you get, the cheaper it's going to be. And obviously the more beneficial it's going to be because it gives time to almost have a transformation, you know? These things take time. I obviously would want to monitor, just like I do with my fitness. I have like a weekly check-in. It's like, you know, I want to see how someone progresses and what they change on a weekly basis or a monthly basis rather than one phone call and expect things to change overnight.
Bro, what were that? How much did that guy try charging you for a 1-hour phone call the other day?
We had recently we had a guy called Jeremy on who I met on Twitter.
All right.
And the Twitter space at the minute is very much selling high ticket. This is like the in-word, you know, obviously selling your service for a super premium.
Yeah.
And you see it more and more. I'm in this same boat. Is when you're packaging this service, you know it takes time. You know it's taking energy. You've got an expertise. You've got life experience, which to me is the most important part, other than degrees.
Yeah, man.
They were like charging minimum $2,000 for these things, and then I've just had a friend who's been he's in recruitment. He's been out there and spent $24,000 on just on consulting. So like it's once you build yourself a brand there, obviously, then you can start. I think because I know for me, my experience, because I'm from a small town, when you're creating the programs and the services, you're almost creating them for people around here. But you have to have to have the mindset that there's people all over the globe pretty much who can benefit from your service, and they'll obviously. I never thought about this because I probably had a broke mentality that if I'm only charging say £40, £50, even £100, because you were toying with the idea of charging what, £50 for your agency videos, then it's changing the mindset shift that some of these people look at £50 and they won't invest in that because there's no skin in the game. So I think it's
very hard to get that balance.
It's hard to get that balance.
You just got to try and look at who your clients are and who you're targeting, and then as you get a higher end audience, you fucking raise your prices and you raise your quality.
I think the good thing for me anyway, and this again why I've chose to go on that route, is because my Instagram almost is my. Like,
you are the product, aren't you, basically? I
am the product. Do you know what I mean? So it's like people can see that I am living that lifestyle. They can see it from my Instagram, see it from my music videos, hear it in my raps, hear it in the podcast. Like I genuinely am living you know, I've genuinely got that experience already. You know, I've started my own businesses. I've traveled the world. I've like had my fair share of experience with women and dating and everything else. I've chased my dreams with music. So I've done all these things. I've lived in loads of different places, been thrown in the deep end. So I can back everything I'm saying. And if someone doesn't want to obviously invest in me, that's fine. But I think combined with seeing what I've done already through my socials and having a consultation for free with me, I think that is enough for someone to see.
You can earn the trust there.
To see the value and get the trust there.
Idea.
I want to move on to music. So how did you, obviously you started from being young, you got into it, and like you just said, from writing the poem. Did you have a bit of a break when you were doing all the seasons, or did you continue to do it? Or is it something you've just thought, right, I'm going to fucking set my eyes on this target now?
I did. And it's one of my main regrets, you know, the fact that I started from such a young age. Obviously, originally it was because I was going through a lot of a difficult time and I wanted to vent myself. Now I love my life. I'm a very, very happy guy. And I love music just as much now as I did when I was 15, 16, you know. But the problem was that when I finished that course at college, I went to uni and I was no longer around people that were musicians, artists. I wasn't around that, so I didn't have like producers there, and I didn't have other people rapping and singers and stuff. And even though, don't get me wrong, I could have still gone out there and done it. Of course I could have. I was someone that always, like my friends will tell you, always needed to kick up the arse of music, you know. I knew I had something there, but I had literally someone grab me and say, come with me now and just get your mouth to the mic and just do what you do. And it was that combined with obviously being a student. My first couple of years, I didn't have money, you know, like I was skint. I was like spending all my money partying, going out, eating out, all that stuff. And music costs a lot of money. Like, there's cheap ways around it if you know someone that knows someone, and I luckily have a lot of them connections, but it still costs me a lot of money. So yeah, going through uni, I just completely lost interest in it. I really did. Like, I couldn't be asked. I think there's one point where I went like over a year without even rapping once. Like, not even at my mate's gaff, not even at a party someone asked me to do it. I just didn't do it at all.
Did you get that a lot? People fucking telling you to spit a few bars at sessions and that?
No, a little bit, yeah. I think the first few years before obviously started going to raves and everyone's just off the nut and wants to listen to boom, boom, boom. I think the first couple of years, but like it were, people would ask me and stuff, and I used to enjoy it, but I just, I lost the interest when I was so long. I dropped a freestyle while I was like on Facebook back when that was big. I think like when I was, 21 or something, and that did well. It got like 15,000 views, like 500-600 likes, which for Facebook is like, it's all right. Do you know what I mean? And all these comments, and I felt motivated for about a day, and then I just like slept on it and didn't release anything until Diva, which was released in 2021, so 2 years ago.
Is that the one you just filmed in Dubai, was it?
No, that's my most recent one. I released, yeah.
Bro, first of all, let me just show you these guys. You might have seen them all before, but I fucking only came across them the other day, right?
What's this?
So these two old fellas, have you heard of them, called fucking Pete and Baz?
Oh, you showed me this yesterday.
I don't
Let me
know.
play some of this, mate.
It's funny as well.
Wait.
Oh, I think I'm onto this, yeah. These lot are blowing up, aren't they?
So show me visual.
Tell them, Baz. What?
I wish my grandma were like that.
I want to get them on pod, mate. They'd be funny as fuck.
Yeah, I've got some competition now.
I always bring it back to business, me. So
wait, let me just talk. I just want to know about Dubai, mate. There's got to be some freaky stories doing that music video, because surely you must be fucking shagging these birds that are in the video. Come on.
Can't comment on that.
No comment.
Have you got a bird now?
Next question. No, I ain't got misses. No, I was single when I'd done the Dubai video. But yeah, I mean, what I will say is actually a funny story I'll tell you about that Dubai video. So it weren't the girls that was in the video that was the thing, but I'd planned it very last minute. So it was one of them where I'm a very spontaneous guy. I book trips, and then I book trips on the day that are like big trips. You know what I'm saying? They're not like just going to Benidorm. It would be like going to Chicago. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I book big trips. So anyway, I'd booked Dubai. I already had Miami booked, so I was going there the week after, and then I had Rome booked for 2 days after I was due to get back from Dubai. So I quickly realised I had no time to go to the studio to make any tunes, and I was going to Dubai. I needed to do a music video. I was in Dubai. Do you know what I'm saying? I was like, we need to take this up a notch. So I'd literally wrote I was sat at my ex-missus house, right? Wrote we weren't together at the time, by the way, just having a catch up. Wrote my literally like woke up in the morning, she was still asleep, and then put I was just flicking through beats, found that beat. I was like, this is cold, this is sick. Wrote the whole tune within like 2 hours, just the whole thing. Went to the studio that day, made it, flew to Dubai about 2-3 days later. Found a cameraman like the night before I flew. So I'm now in Dubai with 2 of my pals with this unreal gaff with a song that's all about girls and no birds. And this music video was, bear in mind, I flew out on the Monday. I think the music video was on the Thursday or the Wednesday. So I had like 2 days, 3 days to find like,
Galvanize
I couldn't just
birds.
have 1 or 2 girls. It's like the lyrics are got women in the front and the back, 2 to myself. I need 10 birds. You know what I mean? Like, it's not
just you and the boys.
Yeah. So it's literally, so I was going out and I was obviously chatting to people. I went out and stuff, asked a few girls, and there was meant to be quite a few more, but just obviously people flaking it. Yeah. Apparently, like even a yacht for the day isn't good enough for half these girls in Dubai. I'm telling you. But the funny story I was going to say is that it got to the day before, yeah, and I was basically asking a lot of girls that I knew that lived out there, but they was either working, because you forget people do actually work there, it's like middle of the week, or they'd seen my last music video of what a twerking, they were like, I'm not doing that. I was like, it's not going to be like that, but deep down I kind of thought, I hope it's a little bit like that. Like, so they just was kind of, they didn't really want to jump on. So honestly, I get on my phone and I'm like, I've only got one option here. So I just typed in Dubai escorts.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm on the escorts side.
Now we're talking.
And it's a big old catalogue, bro. And it's got like a list of all these. Don't get me wrong, they all looked like Kim K's. Like they were bad boys, some of these girls.
Any English birds are not on there? Is it all like...
Nah, it was like sort of Russian and,
nice.
you know, like a lot of sort of like Arab women, you know, all sorts, bro, all sorts. But they're all like rockets, but crazy prices, man. Do you know what I mean? And I was thinking...
How much we're talking?
So you're talking for a call out, the cheapest I found on this site anyway, what, £400 for an hour, cheapest, like an hour, bear in mind, like, you know, for a call out, or you'd have to go to them, I think it'd be like 300 quid, but some of them up to £1,000, some of them more.
I'm used to that like £50, man.
Yeah, go to Allback, bro, £10.
Took cameraman, I'd be like, right, we're fucking wrapping this up in 30 minutes.
yeah. So literally, bro, so I was on this catalog and I was thinking, nah, I'm being stupid here. Like, for one, I'm clicking on the girl, right, and there's this description and it's just saying like, you can lick my ass, you can put it in my ass. And I'm thinking, I want to do none of that, yeah. Like, I ain't paying for none of that.
But I will if I pay the money.
I just want some pretty girls in my music video that are not going to be stiff and they're just going to go for it. And anyway, I shook myself. I was like, what the hell am I doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, I knew some girls. I was like, right, I'm going to, like, can you bring some friends along? And my mates have met a few girls out there. So we end up being all right, you know? So we didn't get any escorts, nothing like that. No one was, you know, paid in that way. But we've done the yacht, and even with the first day, so the yacht, it was like, you know, a lot of girls turned up. I knew two of them through uni, and then the friends came, and half of them didn't want to be on the camera, bro. They didn't know that it was a music video, and we had like a 98-footer yacht, right, bad boy boat, right. We had like a hot tub up at the top and then jet skis at the bottom, and half of them didn't even want to be in the video. So I'm like, fuck, like this cameraman's come, the pretty much whole video is going to be on this boat, and they don't want to be in it, or they weren't up for kind of doing much. So we got a few shots on the boat, and then we were like, look, we need to do another day of it. And luckily the 2 girls that came through the next day, we did it in our villa. They smashed it, man. They did a really good job, and we ended up, they kind of saved the video. So nice. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Good man.
If I'd have been on that yacht, I'd have been like, nah, that fucking yacht, I'd have been like, off. Walk the fucking plank then, son.
Yeah. but this is the thing I'm going to mention with that video, yeah. I am at a point now where I'm having to probably tame it down, because what's actually happened with that song, so it's called Smooth for the people watching. I got to like 14k views in a week on that tune. Now it's only got 1,800. And the reason for that is I tried running an ad campaign, so I've never paid for any like.
Where were this living on Google?
It's on so YouTube, yeah, obviously
running ads.
YouTube ads, it's through Google, innit? And I've tried putting £100 down just to test it out. I thought we can get this like viral. 14k in a week was better than any of my other videos I've done. And then I put £100 down on it, and then I checked the next day, and my ad account was just blocked, literally suspended, and for violating terms, nudity or something like that. So I'm like, what? So I've tried appealing it. Like to this day, I've appealed it 3 times, and I wrote like really like well structured messages. and they've like permanently suspended my account, and I lost all my views. Wow. So now I've got 1,800 views around that anyway, and the song doesn't get pushed to anyone as well because it's like shadow banned, all because there's literally some girls in bikinis. But yet, like, there is so many artists I can tell you, like NLE Chopper, for example. Type in NLE Chopper into YouTube and watch some of his videos. No age limits on them, and he's got like it's like soft porn, but because obviously he's with a label and he'll have people that have fingers in the right pies and stuff. He's sweet, do you know what I'm saying? But it is really like it brings you down a bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still keep doing my thing, but it does kind of bring you down a bit when, you know, you put a lot of money into it, you know, you fly to Dubai, you like go for all that stress, you're close to even paying for brasses for your music video, right? All that like effort and stress you go with to get the song out there and the video, and then you lose all your views. You can't even run an ad campaign that you were going to pay them for. Yeah.
An easy hack around that, which we found, because our channel's had a little bit of problem at the minute. We've been shadow banned. We had a controversial character on, and I think it just affected the channel. Yeah. But the ability there to drive traffic through Facebook, but to drive them to the YouTube link, it doesn't seem to get banned then. Oh, I've tried it a few times with
doing the ad on Facebook.
So you'd run the ad on Ads Manager on Meta, but the link drive would be to the music video on YouTube. All right. That connection seems to work a lot easier than trying to directly run traffic or ads on Google Ads. I found this. I've had to work around because all ours was getting knocked back. We had like something funny in the thumbnail that might be a bit, you know, deemed a bit sexual or drugs or whatever it might be that they seem to want to ban. But the workaround for that were driving traffic through Meta and driving them to the YouTube link. That sort of really upped our views, and the cost per landing page click were quite cheap.
All right, nice.
YouTube were always been cheap for us, but it's just they seem to just be real scrutiny. We have a few controversial people, and we like to talk about shagging, drugs, fucking, you know what it is. Lads will be lads, but just don't seem to want to push that content unless you're really in it already. So for the creators who are trying to like 14,000 views, fantastic. I don't care what anybody says. 14,000 focused people have watched
organically as well.
Massive that.
My social,
but they don't want to sort of. You have to almost break through a little bit for them to like.
Even millions in it.
You're in with them. You're in with them then. I think when they can drive ads against it, they're all right with it then. But until you break through, it's like they're a bit pull back, slow down.
Well, it's a lesson learned, man, and it's like, you know, it's just one of them things where there's it's either looking at ways around it, maybe toning it down a bit, and just keep pushing. And
I think you want to be on TikTok. I think you want to be on TikTok with stuff like that.
100%, bro. Yeah, that's.
You could just clip that video up to 1 million things and have it flying all over.
Exactly. Yeah, so definitely a new angle.
Have you heard of Max Wyatt?
Yeah.
He would have been in boy for sorting all the girls out in Dubai, mate. That's what he does. He just fucking. I don't know how he's done it.
He's been there years, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's smashing it over there at the moment. But if you'd have got in touch with him, he'd have probably supplied you with 20 different pairs, mate.
Do you know the thing though, bro? Like I had geezers like Max that are out there that obviously know plenty of birds. The problem is, bro, like Dubai, same in Miami, girls won't pay him, man. Like when you're in somewhere like Ibiza, there's not many people that will get a yacht, or at least like they'll get a boat, but no one's getting a 98-foot yacht in unless you Mike Thurston or someone, you know. They're not doing that in Ibiza. So if you say to a girl, do you want to come on a yacht for the day, and basically they just come on for free, they'll happily do it. But in sort of Dubai and Miami, because everyone's got yachts and that opportunity comes so much, it now comes to the point of like, all right, if you want me to be in a music video as well, you've got to pay me. And
what a crazy world we live in when it's like that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. And that was the issue. So it wasn't that we didn't know girls or like have girls we could message or people that knew girls to get on, but they wanted paying or they wanted more than just a day on a yacht, you know, which is nuts. Because for me, like, you know, I've already flown to Dubai. I've put money down on making a tune. We've got an unreal boat. It was like I've been on a lot of boats, man. It was the best boat I've ever been on.
How much is it costing for a fucking 90-footer like that for the day?
For a 98-footer, it was 2K, and it was we got it for I think half a day or something. But $2,000. I'm pretty sure that was like discounted. That's actually cheaper than it would be in like Miami or something like that. Yeah,
me being completely new to us is obviously that's all skippered. You've got staff on board and stuff like that as well. You're not fucking Ellis driving about on that.
They got a shock of the life, bro. They got a shock of life when we went on, bro. Honestly, so like we turn it with like we brought all the alcohol on and stuff. They had like I think some shitty alcohol on there. It might have been like a little sex on the beach, something, and some like beers and stuff. Yeah. But we bought the alcohol, and then they were obviously manning the bar. But But like my mates are just nutters, man. Like they were just sliding up all over the place. So we actually ended up having to dock the boat early. We docked it like an hour early, man. It was just getting a bit
Mayday.
It was getting a bit too wild, you know. So yeah, but there is staff on board that are obviously make you drinks, food. They can get like the jet skis out for you.
I think 2K is too bad there. I was expecting a bit more. That's all
right.
For
the boat, it's a very good price.
Nice.
But obviously we're just boys going 3 ways on it. So obviously it's pricey when you look at it like that. But if there's a big group of you on there, and obviously everyone was chipping in, which they weren't in it. But if they were, then it would have been very reasonable.
Yeah. So what's the plan then now? What's your main focuses? What you're trying to do this year? What's your goals?
So I'm moving back to Ibiza on Saturday. I'm going to be there till October time. And I'm looking at this a very different season to previous ones. I'm not even really calling it a season, but if I'm honest, I'm just calling it like
business trip, pretty much.
Yeah, because like this is it's a very calculated trip. This, so you know, I'm working very closely with one of my pals in his concierge business.
Is that you?
Yui's one of them. Yeah. Yui's got one. Yeah.
You know everybody out there, yo.
Mate. Yeah, really good guy. Yeah, he looks like my big brother, doesn't he? The number one. No all my lookalikes.
You look like everyone, bro.
Fuck's sake. But yeah, man. So I'm going to be working closely with him, and obviously, again, it's the concierge thing has come from being a face out there, networking, being present out there so much that people associate the place with me, and they choose to contact me first. So you know, I think I'm a kind of an asset to these people that have these businesses, and every year I get people messaging me saying, "Oh, like, do you want to jump on board with this? We'll give you this and that," and almost like competition trying to get me on board because they realise I can make people a lot of money, I can bring a lot of value, but same way there has to be something good in it for me. You know, I'm at a point now where I'm focused on making money, man, and building a good future for myself and being able to carry on this lifestyle, because this lifestyle, no matter how you look at it, is expensive. I like to find things in life, so going out there and building that concierge business, and obviously being out there is going to help with the coaching business, because if I'm doing life coaching, I'm talking about living your best life, and
you need to show that as well.
What you're doing when you're in Ibiza for 3 months, you are living the best life. You're going, you know, you're waking up in the sun every day. You're around pretty girls. You're going to the best events. You know, you're training. You top off looking good all the time. So it's like it's very much to build that as well. And obviously the music. I've got a music video next week I'm going to be shooting, so I'm jumping straight into that when I get over there. The track's called Beaver, so look out for that one. Nice. But again, being able to do a music video abroad, I think it just gets a different kind of attention, and people take you serious when they see that you're like flying abroad and you're doing this shit abroad, not just in your hometown at your local shop with all your mates. You know, anyone could do that, but not anyone can go abroad and be in the best villas or the best girls, doing all these things in a video to a good song as well. And people will take me, I think, more serious, and if I can get people playing it out there, it's a way of growing and stuff. So that's yeah.
Are we going to have to get in the Ibiza trip?
I've never been to. We'll wrap it up because we're melting away.
Good.
Firstly, thank you for coming, mate. I've really enjoyed that conversation.
No, it's been a pleasure.
Where can people find out more about you? Plug some of your stuff.
Yeah, so Instagram is Matt Holmes with 2 S's on the end and an underscore. YouTube, if you type in, I don't know my exact use, but it's Matt Holmes. So just type in like Matt Holmes.
We'll pop it all up for you.
It should be the first that comes up with one of my songs. My coaching business is called The Resilient. That's going to be dropping, depending on when this podcast drops, within the next few weeks, some point in July anyway. So that will be linked in my Instagram as well. And yeah, obviously anything you need in a Ibiza this summer, or any kind of coaching services, whether that's fitness, life coaching, hit me up on Instagram and we'll go from there.
Good man.
Anything you need, he says.
Anything.
My guy. Thank you, Matt.
Cheers, boys.
Top man. Enjoyed it, boys.
Come on, Matt. It's been a full year. You haven't texted me back. You've been ignoring my calls. Where have you been?
Mic check testing, fresh trim every time I step in. I'm the next best thing, like a big bum with a leg spin. I'll take her with a brethren, I want more bread than a bread bin. Come for the strike like 10 pin, active online, I'm trending. They'll call, give my time like vending, but it's no joke like a fade that won't blend in. It's money, this party ain't ending. Weekend bending, overdraft pending. I'll be all over that painting, and you know that's ending. I'm a lion, trying to be a king like Simba. Ain't on Tinder, won't catch me with a minger. Clean diet, weekend binger. Still got abs in the winter, still in KFC for a zinger. Never been one to linger. If she got a mate, then bring her. Positive thinker, ain't got time for a whinger. If she's called Linda.